it's definitely a kind of underground movement, kind of a secret sorority of passionate country music, like preachers, really.
But it's also growing in the UK massively. There's
totally.
That's on the one side, and then on the other side, country to country gets thousands and thousands of people attending it, and it feels like there's a real kind of it's gaining quite massively in popularity.
And it's definitely in Britain, like the Americana kind of genre of music is bleeding in with country, and it definitely feels like it's having a revival in the UK and in Ireland at the moment. Like Gareth Brooks is like the biggest thing that ever happened since sliced bread in Ireland and the UK.
Well, I suppose the fascination with Americana is twofold. One is it's always been somewhere. I mean, I think there's a particularly strong connection with Scotland and Ireland and country music, a lot of Celtic music, and
that way of storytelling as well, like with the lyrics and kind of the stories are quite similar between.
Yeah, and there's a strong connection in music, and also just in terms of people going and finding a new life, crossing the Atlantic and finding a place to find new opportunities and new possibilities, and that's essentially what happens to Rosalind, but it's happened to kind of generations and generations before that. And then I guess just American culture and a sense of it's imbued itself in across the world, really, but certainly in the UK.
Well, it's cinematic as well. It's an escapist world. Like when you go into the Grand Ole Opry in Glasgow, they've got these painted murals of the Wild West, like on the walls, and there's people walking around in full cowboy regalia with their spangles and sparkles and whatever, and it's an alternate world for people to exist in, and it is quite, cowboys and Indians and the Wild West, and like it's quite cinematic, and it does feel like it is this kind of other world for people whose lives are kind of, I suppose, mundane and day to day in lots of ways in those places. No, I had no real relationship to country before I started it, so it was really nice to come into it completely raw, and I was surrounded by these amazing musicians and who really just introduced me to the best of country and the best artists and the best lyrics, and the minute I found it and kind of drowned my ears in it, it's changed my life, really.
Happened at the end of the filming process, so we'd shot everything in Glasgow already, and of course over the course of the film, Rosalind makes a pilgrimage, if you like, to go to Nashville, and finally for us, we all got to go to Nashville together, and we'd been on this journey of the film, and so it felt like a real.
It was emotional, man.
Yeah,
it was really emotional. Like it felt like. Yeah, and a kind of relief or release, or kind of resolve of something. Like when I was singing on the Ryman, you felt like I was succumbing to kind of this moment, and you're standing on this stage where all these legends and ghosts of country music had stood in that exact spot, like Johnny Cash and Emmylou Harris, and it's a kind of. It's got an eerily beautiful soul in the place, and it is the mecca of country music, and it was a church, and you feel like you're just sending this thing out, and with being able to be there with some of my best friends and these people that we kind of made, it was a really emotional, special moment. I'll never really forget it. Yeah.
As soon as I started working with Jessie, I knew that she had something so special that I just basically wanted to not let her go.
Well, and it's really for me, these are the kind of creative relationships that you dream about having, where you meet somebody who inspires you and who challenges you and who you feel like you can both be curious about the world in a way without actually saying very much to each other. And I think Tom is an incredible filmmaker, and I think he's an incredible person, and I think he I hope this is, you know, the beginning of many adventures that we go on together, because this is a creative relationship that I treasure, and I can't believe that I've been lucky enough to find someone like Tom to work with, not once but twice.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, you having a key? Weak.